Hi, and welcome to a new episode of The Young and the Restless. We open up at the Abbott house, and Summer comes by, and she is greeted by Diane at the door. She questions if they talked about Phyllis's arrest, and Diane tells her that she and Kyle know. And then Summer questions how did Kyle react. Meanwhile, we see Kyle is at Audra's having the time of his life and getting his bad boy freak on. Then we go over to Lily's and Daniel comes by while she's unpacking and he informs her about Phyllis's arrest and he claims that something seems off and doesn't understand why the eyewitness came so suddenly to her rescue. I'm like, Daniel, can you stop being so Mr. Morale for once and just work with it? Then we see Christine and Heather meet up for dinner at society and they discuss her taking over the case and Michael no longer being there. Then they talk about Lucy. Then they discuss Paul being in Portugal away from Christine. This is why you're alone, Christine. Christine believes that Phyllis is full of surprises and wonder what she's up to next. I think that she is up to something, but Heather defends Phyllis and tells Christine to drop the charges and release Phyllis. Then we see Kyle and Audra again boring, and we learn that Kyle has accepted the job at Neman Media. Then they continue to have sex. Then we go back to the Abbott house, and Diane says that they found out from Tucker, and she tells Summer to stop covering for her mom now. But Diane claims that Phyllis' pain cannot be erased in one night of what she did to her. I'm like, Diane, of all the things you have done, Diane has no nerve to question Phyllis, and that is my problem with her. But she believes that Phyllis is her mom, and she is done with the negativity. Summer asks for Kyle, and Diane says that Kyle has been out a lot lately. Clearly, he's struggling. Then Summer wants to know how she and Kyle stand at the moment, but Diane thought Phyllis was captured by the police, only for Summer to tell her that it was Phyllis who turned herself in. Then we see Heather and Christine argues the case and discuss that the EMT confession is enough, but Christine doesn't believe it, and Christine tells Heather to stop. She doesn't want to hear it. Then we see Daniel tells Lily about the EMT, and Daniel doesn't know what to believe. He says that his mother is full of tricks. Daniel says that Clay acts like she was learning about Carson for the first time and acted surprised, but to him it wasn't real, and thinks that Phyllis isn't telling the real story. Then we see Diane rants about Phyllis's lies at the Abbott house, and I'm Diane, nobody has told more lies than you. But Diane thinks that Kyle went looking for someone now that he has learned about it. Then we see Kyle. Meanwhile, Kyle is laying up naked in bed with Audra and having the time of his life. And Audra and Kyle discuss what's next. Audra is waiting to hear from Nate. Audra is invested in her job. That's what Kyle learned. And Kyle claims that he is still a Newman, so he could poke around and ask questions to find out what's happening. Audra says it's okay, and Audra asks how would Summer feel if he did that. Kyle claims that Summer has done worse, so it wouldn't be wrong for him to do it. And then they discuss him not trusting Audra, or Summer telling him not to trust Audra. Then we see Christine is bent on believing Phyllis isn't innocent, and Christine questions how long Michael knew about Phyllis and this EMT before she turned herself in, and why Michael just suddenly disappeared. Christine is shocked that Phyllis reached out to Michael to turn herself in. She thought that it was Chance who captured Phyllis. Then we see Summer says that she got no texts or phone calls from Kyle, so clearly he isn't looking for her. And Diane claims that she wants things to work out for them. Summer doesn't believe, but Diane tells Summer not to give up hope. Summer questions why Diane cares, and she says that Kyle loves you and you make him happy. Summer thinks that there is no comeback for them. And you can see that Summer and Diane are connecting and having a moment. Then we see Audra says that she is happy that Kyle isn't clingy, and then notifies Kyle that Tucker saw his text, and it's she who opened. Then we hear a knock on the door, and we see that Kyle is about to leave, and when he opened the door, it's Nate. Then we see Danielle complains about his long day, and Lily offers to talk about something else, and he asks about her chat with Nate. And Lily says that Nate is very defensive when it comes to Victoria, and thinks that Vic is wrong for him. Danielle says that statement could have been applied to us once. That's very hypocritical of Lily. Lily is worried about them being together, and says that the Newmans hurt too many people when they work with them. Then we see back at the athletic club, Nate welcomes Kyle aboard and Kyle leaves. And Audra says that Nate not say a word about it. And Nate says that it's none of his business. And then proceed to tell Audra what Victor said. And Audra says that it doesn't sound good. Then we see Diane thinks that her and Summer have more in common, and Summer doesn't want to trick Kyle into being with her again. And she tells Diane about the story with Lola, how she gave an organ to trick Kyle into marrying her. But Diane says that she has grown, so she can repair it now with Kyle. Summer decides to leave, and as she's about to leave, Kyle returns home and asks what is she doing there with attitude. Then we see Nate announce to Audra that Victor has taken full control of the company, and tells him that Victor has moved Nick to McCall with Adam and Sharon, and Nate is happy that he is staying at Neman, and Audra will have Neman Media for herself. Then we see Diane wants to leave for Kyle and Summer to talk, but Summer then realizes that Kyle smells of perfume. But Kyle just walks away and leaves her there, and Summer leaves. Then we see Heather thinks Phyllis was tired of running, that's why she came back, but Christine thinks that it's too convenient. Heather believes that Christine is using the past to judge Phyllis, and tells her to keep an open mind. Then we see Daniel thanks Lily for being available for him, and Daniel says that he has to go in early to sleep because the next day is his mother's arraignment. Then we see Kyle tells Diane about his new job at Neman Media, and Diane wonders if it's a play by Victor to go after Jack, and tells her that Audra hired him. Kyle then blames Jack for kicking him to the curb, hence why he's at Neman. Then we see Diane thinks that Kyle is being impulsive. And we end with Ace and Audra at the bar, cheers into their success, and happy that Victor is keeping them. And Summer sees them and she walks over. Thanks for watching. Bye.